Good morning, folks. This is the second video I've done on this topic. I took the first one down because when I reviewed it and thought about it some more, I recognized and realized that I said some things in that video that I probably shouldn't have said, and just trying to use some wisdom and discernment here. And I was like, yeah, nah, I don't think I'm gonna leave this one up. But I do appreciate the comments from the people that did see it. Uh, and it was cool because it kind of confirmed already what people are seeing and dealing with regarding empty store shelves already happening. Specifically, there was a comment about a Winn-Dixie grocery store in Inverness, Florida, Citrus County, Inverness, Florida. I'm a little familiar with that area, uh, living in Florida as long as I did. Um, so I was glad to see the comments. There may have been some others, I just didn't see them all. So people are already dealing with this. So, but I I said some things I probably shouldn't have said. So that's why I took it down. You got to be careful when you make these videos, especially nowadays. They will hammer you to the wall, nail you to the wall, take down your channel, destroy your life, do whatever they have to do. So, but at the same time, I feel an obligation to share what I received from a friend that works in shipping that I don't hear from all that often, but when they do send me information, they tell me to be very, very careful with it. So I'm trying to do that, not reveal anything I shouldn't reveal. But it does confirm things that people like Michael Snyder has put out in his articles. Uh, Probably Gregory Manarino has talked about a few times. There has been an excellent video just put out a day or so ago. I think it was yesterday by the City Prepping channel, YouTube channel on this as well. CNBC has many, as well, not many, but a few reports, articles on it. So it's from different spectrums, you know, and it's all saying the same thing: to prepare for empty store shelves in a couple of weeks. What is a couple of weeks? Well, when they first started talking about this, it was actually probably about a week ago that I first started hearing from like the Amazon CEO that, hey, shipping costs are going to go way up. We're going to pass off the tariff situation onto the consumers so we can continue to make a profit, pay our employees a fair wage or whatever their reasonings are. And so that was just one. And now reports are coming out. People are probably familiar with this, that Walmart and Target and Home Depot and Lowe's are all talking about how their CEOs are all talking about there's going to be empty store shelves. Now, a while back, I put out a video called I Implore You. That might have been premature. Maybe, maybe not. Time will tell, I suppose. But I thought this was going to happen a lot sooner than it appears that it is happening now, or it's being reported on now, that in a couple of weeks. So, 2 weeks. When does that 2 weeks start? When did it end? I don't know. I would say probably by mid May. 2 weeks is a fair estimate that you're going to have empty store shelves. This is not me saying this, okay? And my friend from shipping said that they know, because of what they do and what they're involved in and have been for quite a while, for quite a few years, that they are seeing a significant slowdown coming from the dragon country, and they want to try to have other countries. The plan is, if there is a plan, to begin to produce and manufacture. The problem is they don't have the ability, they don't have the means, they don't have the resources that the dragon country does. They don't have the technology. And the one country, I can't mention these countries' names. There's just certain things I can't talk about, or I'm not going to. Maybe I can, but I'm just not going to. People can research themselves if they want to what other countries might be willing, available to at least try. But it's almost like it's too late. Everybody's too far behind the eight ball. They have been dependent upon the Dragon Country and these other countries for so long in our global economy. There really isn't a backup plan. There really isn't anybody else to step up to the plate, so to speak. And the one place that could, well, they could actually be in a war with their neighbor, kind of already are, very soon. So um, it's not good, okay? We're still hearing of wars, rumors of wars. We're still hearing, you read Hal Turner, radioshow.com. I don't suggest everything on there, but there are certain reports that he puts out that are very good and very timely for the things that are happening. It's not good overall for our nation with the tariffs. It doesn't appear that anybody wants to talk. Like we do, our government does, kind of thing, but nobody wants to talk to us. It's like because we have really just pissed off the world, for lack of a better term. I don't know how else to say it. I mean, we just have. And so, our enemies don't fear us, and our allies, if we have any other than Israel, maybe, uh, they don't trust us. So we're really between a rock and a hard spot, and, hard place or whatever it is. So in a couple of weeks, we could be seeing empty store shelves. So like I said a while back, I implore you. Well, now I do implore you, okay? If you didn't take it then and maybe figure people, crazy dude, I got time, shelves are still full, I can still go to the store 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, get what I need and so forth. Yep, right now, that's probably the case, you know. But I implore you now, whatever it is you need to get or want to get before it is too expensive to purchase or it's just no longer available, do it if you can now. And I also suggest that people support more local businesses, um, maybe businesses that aren't involved, like these large corporations. They're part of the problem, a lot of them, and have been for many, many years. There's a reason why places like Walmart can keep prices low for as long as they've been able to, and why they are pretty much in every small town in America, and why you don't see as many mom and pop shops anymore. Yeah, it had a lot to do with the pandemic, but even more than that, because Walmart's move in and they shut everything down. That's like bringing an amusement park in, and shutting down the local parks. I mean, nobody cares about the local parks and, taking their kids to a smaller park when you've got an amusement park in the area, or carnival or whatever, that just runs constantly. And when these big corporations come into these small towns, even more rural areas or whatever, much less larger cities, they shut down all the mom and pop shops. They can't compete with them. They shut down the local grocers. They shut down all of these places. They can't compete. So I encourage people, yeah, it might cost a little bit more, but you'll get better products. You'll get things that last longer. You'll get food that may not poison and kill you if you support, if they're in your area, farmers markets, farm to table stores, local grocers. Stay away from the big name corporation stuff. I know that's what a lot of people can afford, and I get that. But by supporting that, you really don't know where your money's going. I mean, unless you really, really want to research, like I have. That's why I don't support Walmart and Target. Me personally, I'm just speaking about myself, and other places, Amazon or whatever, because I have searched it, researched it, and I've even gotten firsthand experience, at Amazon. So I get it. I know what they're about. I know what they do. I know how they treat people, and um, I know how they run. So I don't support it. And I know what they really support behind the scenes. So I don't, I as much as possible, you know, my wife and I will, you know, do farm to table, uh, more local grocers, support uh, businesses in our area. Uh, Hopefully, stay away from the big name stuff, because now you have facial ID and recognition of people seeing. I think it was Ones That Can See Your Nations Conspire video talking about Sam's Club beginning to, start the facial recognition stuff. You have to have a certain ID, a certain chip, all this stuff in order to shop in these stores. I think people can see where things are headed here, and I guess there's no stopping this ball from rolling, but at the same time, you can avoid it. If you're able to avoid it for as long as you can, I would suggest people do. But regardless, it looks like we're going to have empty store shelves. So whatever you support, wherever you shop at, whatever you buy, get it while you can, because in a couple of weeks or whatever, it may not be available, or you may not be able to afford it at all. So this is just a heads up on that. I trust my friend from shipping. They've never led me wrong. They've always given me good advice. Watch the Baltic Dry Index. Watch how the ships don't get through customs. They just basically get bottlenecked. Things don't come in. Pay attention to this stuff, because they're telling me that significant slowdowns, significant, that they're seeing, and they got firsthand knowledge of this. So I don't hear from that often. So when they do send me information like that, they tell me I can share it. Just be careful how I share it, and that's what I'm trying to do here. Uh, you know, I feel better about this one. I feel better about this one, because everything I'm telling you here are things that you can research and find yourself if you look at the things I share on my post, or the channels or whatever that I've mentioned. They're all talking about it. So it's out there. So be aware, be ready, be prepared, and ultimately we just trust in the Lord for all of our needs, and He'll supply all of our needs according to His riches and glory. And we just serve Him and trust Him, and He'll take care of it. But at the same time, we got to be wise, we got to be smart, and we got to do what we can do while we're still able to, if that makes sense. All right. All right. Y'all have a good and blessed day, a good weekend ahead. Be careful out there. I also got reports, firsthand reports, people up all night waiting for the tornadoes to hit, or having tornado warnings, sirens, whatever. It's going to be a bad weather weekend for a lot of areas, Texas up to the Midwest, I guess even going into next week. So do what you can while you can. Get out, enjoy, the weather if you're able to. Get some exercise, and I don't know what to say. That's what I plan to do. Get a little exercise. Haven't gotten a whole lot this week, and enjoy the weather while I'm able to. Before it starts pouring rain again. So, all right, y'all take care. Have a good one. Bye bye.